Said I remember when we used to sit. Was a government store in Georgetown. And then Georgia would make the firelight as it was. Love would burn and green. And we would cook on milk porridge, which I'll share with you. My feet is my only current, so I've got to push on through. But when I'm gone, everything is gonna be alright. 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 So woman, no, 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 never shed no tears. No, no, woman, oh no, 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 please don't shed no tears. No, no, woman. Oh, woman, the live video. I hope everybody can get me now. I had to call in my technician to try to see how he can help me out. I give a shout out to our able technician, Comrade Edwin Foncha. I also want to give a shout out to my able senior comrade in the struggle, Johnny Karawa. I also want to give a shout out to my able senior comrade, Comrade Ayamba Fuller. Thanks for always being there. Please join. As you join, please share the video. Let's get going. We'll have a very short session today, but it's just for us to understand the magnitude of what we are facing. It's very important that we know the magnitude of the fight ahead of us. That's the purpose of this live video today. Because so many of us, we are still in our little silos, not understanding the magnitude of the fight that we are getting into. So today, from the Ambassador Broadcasting Network, we will try to throw light on the magnitude of the fight that we are getting into, so that we should prepare ourselves well and brave the storm, so that we can arrive where safely. Please share as you join. Thank you. Thanks, members of the house. Thanks a lot. I give a big shout out to Comrade Johnny Karawa. Thanks. I give a big shout out to Comrade Edward Johnny. Thanks. We are unflinching focus on this revolution. Share the video as you join, please. Let's chop it up. We have a couple of things to really remind our people of the magnitude of the fight that we are facing. We are going up a very formidable force. So we should reshape our mindsets and reshape our thoughts on what we are getting into, to understand the magnitude of the adversity that we are facing, so that we can pull ourselves together and really give in our all in this struggle. So I just want to keep on reminding ourselves of what we are facing, so that we should understand how we put in all what we got into this fight. Please share as you join, so that we can build some audience and we can have a discussion on how to move our revolution forward. To me it makes lots of sense. Oh, the good luck Rasta.
Fellow Ambazonians, no matter how dark it is now, it's going to get darker, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Let's know that. Let's fight with dignity, pride, and integrity. We are trying to recover our dignity as human beings. So let's fight with pride and dignity. We are not going to outsource this struggle to anybody. To claim our real dignity as human beings, to fight for our integrity, we have to do the work by ourselves. Let's fold our sleeves, get into the mud, and do the dirty work. Nobody is coming for us. Let's stop this dependency mentality that we have. This is what has eaten us in Africa. Always depending on A or B. That's why we find ourselves in this precarious situation. But we as Ambazonians, we are the pace setters. We set the pace in Africa. We should understand one thing. Ambazonia is the first African nation that exercised pure and genuine democracy in Africa. H.E. Where Foncha beat Endele handed the baton to lead our nation to Foncha peacefully and took his seat as an opposition. There wasn't any fraud. Everything went hitch-free. So we have come back to reset the button of real independence in Africa. What we do will champion real, genuine, and effective liberation of Africa. Ambazonia, we lead, we set the pace. So whatever we do, we should know the depth of what we are doing, for it's going to define history. Please, I want to remind us this afternoon of what we are up and against. For those who are coming, good morning, good afternoon, good evening from Ambazonian Broadcasting Network. Share as you join. Let's build the audience. Ambazonia, we have a place in this world. We are the pace setters. We conducted the first democratic election in Africa where an opposition beat the incumbent and they handed over power peacefully. We set the pace. And this time around, we're going to set the pace for real, genuine freedom in Africa. So whatever we do, we should understand that it's going to, for generations, it will be told for generations to come. Put your own block on this defining moment of our people in Ambazonia and Africa. For those of us who see past beyond our noses, we understand the fight that we are into. We will not give up. We will never be called slaves. We are breaking the chains. Join. As you join, please share the video. Let's chop it up. Ambazonian Broadcasting Network is always going to say it as it is. We'll try as much as possible to stay unbiased, but we'll always go there. We'll go to places, but we'll try as much as possible to be truthful and fair.
Let's jump.
Fellow Ambazonians, thanks for joining the Ambazonian Broadcasting Network this afternoon. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the globe. Ambazonian Broadcasting Network has come here to stay, to ensure that we function as vanguards of this revolution, to ensure that we guide our people's psyche, strengthen our psyche as we move towards Buea, to ensure that we don't derail the train. The train is heading towards Buea, and we must arrive Buea by any means necessary. Thank you. Thanks for joining. Thanks for those who have always been contributing. I also want to say this. I bring you revolutionary greetings from the Ambazonian Governing Council, the AGC. I bring you revolutionary greetings from the Ambazonian Defense Forces, the ADF. I bring you revolutionary greetings from all restoration forces across our territory. Thank you. Thanks, our boys and girls, for what you do. We are at war. We can't pretend away. We can't shy away from it. Let's call it as it is. Ambazonian Broadcasting Network is making it very clear. We are at war. For those of us who are still dreaming or thinking that it doesn't concern you, don't wait till you have serious casualty back home before you start joining in. You better fight. You better join in and prevent the casualty before it hits home. While I am just to do a very short live, and I will give room for a bit of questions and answers, or for us to share our thoughts this afternoon. We have to understand something. Probably we Ambazonians, we don't really understand. Most of us don't understand the magnitude of the fight that we have stepped ourselves into. We Ambazonians, we are fighting not only the Republic of Cameroon, we are fighting the whole Semak region. We should know that. We are fighting the whole Semak region. We heard of claims of Chadians joining the force to fight us in the early days of, probably October or September, October. They were on our streets. So we should understand the magnitude of the fight that we are stepping ourselves into. Please, Ambazonians, this moment in our life is a turning point in our life. It's very critical. You have to really do everything possible to support this revolution. Do what you have to do. We are not only fighting the Republic of Cameroon. We are fighting the whole of Semak region. And we are also fighting France. We should know France has always had a very dirty history in Africa. We are fighting the whole Semak region and France. So we should understand what we are getting into to know how we have to support this revolution. But besides that, our boys on the street, they have determined that even if the whole world is going to fight them, we will fight and die as a free people. We have been liberated. Our mindset have been liberated. We have to understand that's a big gain, major gain by all of us Ambazonians. Now the main work is supposed to be done on the streets. Our boys are up and ready. They are prepared to take the fight to the enemy. We are not an aggressive force. We are just defending ourselves. We are fighting against the carnage being caused in our territory. We have enough human resources. We need material resources. And we need to understand the magnitude of the fight that we are going into. That we are in, not going into, that we are in at the moment. So Ambazonians across the globe, the diaspora, have a lot to sit and re-evaluate and think. We have to understand that excuse me, I think I'm getting some noise that the speaker is not coming on. Let me check, please. Sorry, please. I'm just trying to adjust the speakers. I had a complaint that my speaker is not coming out loudly. I hope you can hear me now. Hope I'm loud now. Okay, thank you. So I just want to say that we have to understand the magnitude of the fight that we are into. Fellow Ambazonians across the world. This is not politics. This is not child's play. We have to understand that we are fighting the whole Semak region. They are rotating their troops in and out of La Republic of Cameroon to fight us. Let's get ourselves ready. Please, if you have never done anything in your life, this is the moment that you should do something that you should be proud of. If you leave this generation, if this generation leaves this world, our grandchildren should be able to say that our parents fought for us, our forefathers fought for us. We sit in countries across the diaspora. We hear of the history of how they talk about their great forefathers, their ancestors, how they fought to reshape their countries. Here, for instance, in America, we hear of Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, how they fought to liberate America. And their children are proud of what they read in their books. They take pride in that. We should, at all point in time, be the determining factors, be the determinants, where our children should talk about us and say that our forefathers fought for them. They gave them a free nation. We should also understand one thing is very clear. Ambazonia, we as Ambazonians, we started real democracy in Africa. I mean, real, genuine democracy. We are the first territory in Africa that carried out real, genuine democracy. So we are also the pace setters in Africa. As we fight our way through real, genuine liberation, we are going to go down in Africa as one of the first nations that really obtain a pure freedom. We have to understand that we have to stop this dependency mentality that we have. We should get out of this dependency mentality where we are always looking out, begging like babies for help. We have everything that it takes to be able to liberate ourselves. Let's stop second guessing ourselves. Let's step up. We can do this. We can do this as Ambazonians. We don't need to look for A or B. I hear people talking about looking for this power to come and help us. It's just like you fighting for your freedom. And then you take the freedom and hand it to somebody who's going to come and control you. We are not going to do that because we have the resources to fight for our liberation. Smaller countries like East Timor did that. We can do it. We just have to understand that we have to commit ourselves into this fight. Don't do it because it tells you. Look right deep within you and understand that it is a personal struggle. Personalize this revolution. Own it. Stand like someone and say that this is my revolution. This is what I'm supposed to do. We have been chosen. We didn't come to this world. This is not a coincidence. We are the generation that's going to initiate the liberation of Ambazonia. Don't shy away. Where is your block? What will your children read about you? Fund the revolution, please. Fund it. We need to do everything that we can to liberate ourselves and liberate our children in the future. What we face, we are facing a beast in front of us. This battle is not only like with the Republic of Cameroon. We are fighting the whole CEMAC region, plus France, of which we are going to win. That is certain. Victory is certain. But we can make it faster and possible if we really put in all our resources and contribute. We have the human resources available. We need material resources. We cannot keep on depending on A or B, being treated like babies across the world. That's why we Africans, when we go across the world, they always look at us without any respect, without any dignity, because we have in our psyche that dependency mentality. We are always looking for people to help us, always begging. That's why we are the richest continent in the world, but that psychological damage on us, that we should always depend on the outer world, to always depend on validation, is killing us. We are the initiators of civilization, Africans. Let's get out of this dependency mentality, fold our sleeves, and tell ourselves that we demand respect, we demand dignity, and we are going to claim it. We don't need to ask it from anybody. Ambazonians have the resources, tenfold, more than Eritrea, more than East Timor. But it's the commitment that we need. Whatever you donate in this revolution, there is nothing too small. 5 francs, $1, a pound, a penny. There is nothing too small. As long as you donate it with that commitment, that belief, that spirit that is going to liberate you, is going to come. We don't have to think big. One thing that we Ambazonians have in mind is this. We think big We keep on thinking of, oh, we need billions. No. Whatever we are putting into this revolution, let's put it with all our heart and that commitment. We are going to make it. It's there. Don't undermine any little effort that you make in this revolution. We are happy. One thing I will say is this. What we see across our territory, and I will just take this point to announce this. The ADF has successfully implanted ADF units across the 13 counties. We have successfully established ADF units across the 13 counties. We are going to strike anytime, anywhere, anyhow. Time is on our side. So let's make it very clear. For those terrorists on our soil, you are on a very, very hostile territory. And I will say this. Whatever we are doing, wherever our leaders are, because we compare them with those that have been held also in dungeons in the Republic of Cameroon, one thing should be focused, one thing should be certain. We change the pace of this liberation on the ground. That is where we have to make sure that we change the pace. Whether our leaders have been locked up, whatever, as we fight as hard as possible to liberate them and liberate all others in the dungeons, we should understand that we should own this revolution and change the groundwork. We are fighting for that territory. It's our territory. And that's where the major work is supposed to be done. We have to understand that nothing like diplomacy is going to come true when we step on the table with nothing to show on the table. They will call for us. Let's ensure that they call for us to come and sit on the table. That is how we have to tweak our mentality. We should stop begging for people to come and sit on the table. Why should we beg for what we own? We should fight it and own it. Let the world call us to come and sit on the table. That should be our mindset. We are not supposed to be begging. That's how the world is. Let me pick up this one from the commander-in-chief of the agency. He said, and it still resonates within me, unless we exert power, the world is ruled by economic power, political power, military power. So we cannot go to the table empty-handed. We have to exert power in our territory to be able to claim what we have. Then they will call us on the table to come and sit on the table and talk. We can't talk about the diplomacy at this point in time empty-handed. The game changer is on the ground. Fellow Amazonians, do your part. Don't do it because A tells you to do it or B tells you. Don't be bystanders. Join the revolution. At this point in time, we have to understand one thing. We shouldn't have people sitting on the fences. You have to. This is the moment that you have to join the revolution and put in your own part. Not to be convinced. Not to be convinced. Do it because you are doing your own part. You are doing everything possible to liberate Amazonia. This is how we have to shape our mindset. People are not supposed to tell you that you need to get into this struggle at this point in time. If you're in your right senses, the ground game is the solution. That is the key to this liberation. And whether people have been locked up or not, it might release them, release everybody in prison. But the bottom line is that we will still have to, if we decide to follow that path, we will go back to the same position of being slaves. We have to free ourselves on the ground. That is just, we can't wiggle ourselves out of this. $1 count, a penny count, everything that you got count. Don't minimize whatever you have to contribute in this revolution. You are doing it from your heart. Not that, do it. You can forgo, we Amazonians across the globe. Some of us drink 5 beer or 10 beer a week. You can forgo 5 of the 10 beer and put it in this revolution. You do it for yourself because there's a reason to fight for. The adversary is big. It's not only like we do Cameroon. Fight as if you have nothing to gain currently. Fight for your future generation. I also want to state this. Ambazonian Defense Forces, because I'll say it out so that the world should hear and know. The ADF Intel Unit did gather. We did track some voices. We tracked some detractors. Oh, sorry, let me put it this way. Ambazonian Defense Forces, the intelligence unit of the Ambazonian Defense Forces, we track an intelligence stating that the French intelligence combined with the Chinese intelligence, contractors from the Chinese, they are working extremely hard to come after the AGC leadership. We know that. We are also tracking them. But we will tell the world this. Touch not our anointed, France. You have been good at doing dirty work across Africa. We've never seen a leech like the French in the world. But you stand and you raise your nose high, feeding off of Africa. All you do is kill our leaders. But this time around, we will tell you that no. What the Algerians did to you people, that will be child's play in our territory. Know that. You speak with people. The fact that you people think you colonize our mindset, I think we are breaking off. We are getting more and more conscious of what our situation and where you have placed us. We have gathered that the French intelligence and contractors from the Chinese leadership, from the Chinese contractors, how do you call it? Software contractors, that they are coming after the leadership of the AGC. We are tracking you people as you think you are tracking us. But we'll let the world know, France, you are not going to play that rubbish with us. We know, we are telling you and we mean what we are saying. What you've done to Rwanda, what you have done to Ivory Coast, this is a different ball game. You will not happen to Ambazonia. Touch not our anointed. You are a leech to the world. You leech out of Africa. You claim that you talk about liberty, fraternity, or freedom, as you call it, whatever. The French, you people, you build a statue of liberty in America. But look at what you are doing in Africa. What type of liberty are you talking about? Fellow Amazonians, we have to understand something. Let's not believe that this world or the powers that be have some morality. There might be a couple. You may have countries with systems, countries with good people with good heart. But the political structures that be in some of these countries are as devilish that you cannot imagine. I want to make certain one thing. There is one agent amongst us, a clear agent, by name Jennifer Decay. She has been an impediment in this struggle. Whoever she is working directly with the Republic of Cameroon. She pretends as if she supports the interim government, but every move that the ADF or any defense unit carries out, she is there to create confusion and chaos. The name so-called Jennifer Decay, flag that name and ensure that she has nothing to do with us. She is a La Republic agent. She is a mole amongst us. She goes with a very, fake identity. That's why you see every time that anything positive is done in this revolution, she in particular comes out. She's a mole working with the Republic of Cameroon. She comes out and she always tries to discredit whatever we are doing. Know what she is and who she is. I call her out. You make sure that you identify her as a mole working with the Republic of Cameroon. She pretends as if she belongs to part of the struggle, but that is what she is up to. So let's make sure that we treat her with that. And she is, if you look at it very well, every little progress that Ambazonia has made, she's always there to cause division, chaos, and trouble. That is her task. If you look anytime, areas of strength that we stand there, Jennifer Decay, in particular, I call her out. She's always there to cause chaos and confusion. Wherever she is or whatever she is, she uses a fake profile. But we have identified her as La Republique du Cameroon's agent, a mole within La Republique, amongst us, pretending. So you shouldn't be surprised seeing what she writes. She's just there to cause destabilization. She's one of those agents working as hard as possible. Where is a he or a she? To discuss confusion amongst Amazonians. When we sit and we mourn and try to locate where our leaders are, with the gains being made by La Republique du Cameroon, what she does, the name so-called Jennifer Decay, what she does is try to split us apart. She championed extremely hard. She championed ensuring, if you look at it very well, she championed ensuring that we wanted to organize a conference where all of us can sit together and talk our problems. But she was the sole champion. She championed ensuring that we look at all our posts, negativity across, that we don't have that meeting. Look at what she's been doing. You will understand very well what her mission is. She pretends as if she's working with the interim government, but that profile called Jennifer Decay, her intention, we know, we talk with the intelligence. Her intention is to continue to disrupt Amazonians. So if you have her as being part of your or friends or whatever, understand her mission. We have flagged her and we know her intention is to keep us apart. So treat her as a mole within us and an agent of La Republique du Cameroon. I will say this. Wherever our leaders are, from the Ambassador Broadcasting Network, we don't really know where our leaders are. They are between Yaoundé and Abuja. We don't know. But once we get intelligence as far as that is concerned, we will make it very clear. There's a lot of speculations going out there, assumptions. We don't really know, we can't tell, because I say Ambassador Broadcasting will say it as it is, and we will be very truthful and clear as to what we say here. We do everything to stay unbiased and to strengthen our people's psyche. We flag out agents amongst us trying to derail this revolution, and we ensure that we notify Amazonians to know how to deal with them. Some of them are amongst us pretending to be within this revolution or amongst us. But any positive move that we make or gains that we make, they come out strongly and try to act negatively and create divisive tendencies amongst us. So we should know to identify those people. And I'll call them constantly when I go live. Those elements that we have to ensure, we flag them out and ensure that we treat them like enemy combatants on the social network pages. I want to say this, fellow Amazonians. Let's focus our attention where real action is. The real work is supposed to be done on the ground. The ground is quiet. The ADF went out in coordination with the Coffin Revolution. We wreaked havoc across our territory, right from Ekok through to Campbell. We wreaked havoc in our territory. The ground is quiet. Re-evaluation is taking place. Those operations were carried out by the ADF forces. The ADF force needs your support. They need the people behind them. We are talking about liberating our territory from a beast, not only like Cameroon, but the whole Semak region. Fund the ADF. Fund the Changshu boys. As we fight as hard as possible to locate our leaders wherever they are, we should understand that the game, so far, the game changer is on the ground. We can stop more abductions, more killings, stop the flow of refugees out of our country or within our territory by doing the heavy lifting, by making sure that we convert the groundwork to be a volcanic territory for the oppressors. Let's create a tsunami onto the oppressors. Their intention is to wipe us off completely and cover the territory. Can you imagine, fellow Amazonians, that in the northern zone, there is a third-class chieftaincy that has been created Within Menakwe, a third-class chieftaincy. Let me say a Bamileke third-class chieftaincy has been created, has been implanted within our territory. What does that say? You see, this whole thing has been going on for a long time. The SDOs that are in our territory, they ensure that they get good places. Then they give it out to their Francophone brothers for free, for them to keep on building. That's some of the technique that they have been applying. If you look at Limbe, across Limbe, that's the same technique that they applied in Limbe to bring in Francophone to clean us out of our territory. Go along Sokolo right through. You will notice that most of this territory, my too, have been bought over by Francophones. That was still the handwork of these assimilation policies. We are fighting an existential threat. This is not politics. This is a fight for survival. Whatever we do, we should ensure that we donate to the least. Let's put in our very best, put in the list that we have. It's going to go miles. Support the Changshu boys. Support the ADF. Go to www.changshuboys.org. Put in your funds there. $1, $5, $10, £1, €5. It's not small. Let's sacrifice something that we have been using as pleasure for our liberation. It's our liberation we're talking about. Whatever you do, you're not doing it for me who stands here and talk to your people to do that. I'm just here doing my own part. What will be your own part? What are you going to? All of us have a blank slate. What will our children tell us? What will our children read in our own pages? Where is your own block? We also have to understand this. While I prepare to wrap up, we also have to understand this. As we fight ahead and forge ahead, don't wait to see where this fight goes before you start contributing. Don't wait. What are we scared of? Don't wait to hear that one of your relatives has been killed before you join the struggle. Don't wait to hear that a village has been raised ablaze before you join the struggle. Join the struggle and prevent it. Prevent it from happening. News reaching the Abazana Broadcasting Network is stating that we are happy to hear that most counties are really heeding to what the Commander-in-Chief of the AGC has always stated. Form units, defend your block. Recently we heard how counties in the northern zone, they are passing out ultimatum for the colonizers to leave their territory. That is good news. Every Ambazonian is an ADF. All Ambazonians are ADF. Ambazonians defending their front. Let me put it this way. Hold your blocks. Those guys those units that have organized themselves and they want some structure or directions, you have the means to contact the ADF. They will work with you and coordinate activities to ensure that you take your block. It's yours. You're not doing it for ADF. You're not doing it for anybody. The ADF is there with their own forces. They will coordinate with you and work with you, just as they coordinated the last operations with the Kofun Revolution. They will coordinate with you, work with you, and when it comes to political cover, they will give you the political cover. We advise young people who want to join the ADF, you can join the ADF. Those who want to function on their own, you can put in your units together, have a dialogue with ADF, they can coordinate activities together with you people. The essence is that you own your block and you free your block. That has always been the message of the Commander-in-Chief of the AGC. Hold your blocks. Besides the ADF doing what it is doing, you can hold your block. It is yours. It is yours. Don't fight for anybody. Fight for yourself. When we say that people should donate, Like I stated yesterday, those people who donated about 4 months ago, the results that we had recently is yours. That is the result of your donation. That's the result of your funding the revolution. You've seen it. It takes planning. It needs strategy to execute. Keep funding your revolution. Human resource is not a problem. Let me end up by saying this. Fellow Amazonians, it's not a coincidence that we have 13 counties. Those 13 counties, I will say this. Amazonia, there is a myth surrounding 13, the figure 13, or Friday the 13th. You will meet your ill luck. I'm saying this to the Republic of Cameroon terrorists and the Semak terrorists. You will meet your Waterloo in Amazonia. You've tested our resolve and you've seen it in manual. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. To summarize, we have intelligence stating that the French intelligence unit and combined with the Chinese contractors, they are trying to target the leadership of the agency. We have that intelligence. We were telling the world this is not the 20th century, this is the 21st century. We also keep track of you people, and we are monitoring what you people are doing. We understand what we are up to. We are not scared, but touch not our anointed. Also, fellow Amazonians, we have to understand the magnitude of the adversity that we have. We are already at war. So whatever you donate, whatever you contribute, do it from your heart. Nothing is too small. Fund your revolution. As of now, self-defense takes precedence. Diplomacy sits on the back seat. Fund the self-defense. We are defending ourselves. We are not an aggressive power. We are sending a terrorist out of our territory. And we'll keep on doing that. And lastly, whatever you do, you don't do it for anybody. You don't do it for any organization. Don't do it for yourself. Don't do it for any organization. Don't do it for anybody. Don't do it for any organization. Do it for yourself. Fight to liberate your grandchildren. Fight to liberate our future generation. All of us Amazonians have a blank page. Whatever we write on that page will be what our future generation is going to read on those pages. Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, they had a blank page. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, they had a blank page. They wrote on their pages, and Americans are proud of them because they define their nation. We have our own blank pages as Amazonians. What are we writing on those pages? Let's give our future generation what they truly deserve. Freedom, liberty, freedom of gathering, freedom of expression, meritocracy. That's what we are fighting for. Patriotism. Amazonia is ours. We are not begging it. The world is not coming to help us. We will own Amazonia before the world comes and sits and negotiate with us. We stop fooling ourselves and thinking that diplomacy is going to bring this thing to an end. No. We will fight for what we own. Fight for what we deserve. And then, the world, we don't have to wait for the world we don't have to beg for the world to come and sit and talk about our issue. We've done that for the past 56 years. But this time around, the world has to call us to come and sit and talk. They cheated us. They robbed us of our independence. They robbed us of our liberty. They robbed us of our dignity. They robbed us of our integrity. We are fighting for it. Don't you think that they'll come back and hand it to you? No. You have to claim it. Go to www.changshuboys.org. That is a structured unit. You saw their activity across the territory recently. Put in what you can. Nothing is too small. Don't do it for me. Don't do it for anybody. Do it for yourself and for your future generation and for your grandchildren. Let's stop this dependency mentality. I'll always say this in every life that I'll come in. Stop this dependency mentality of always looking for a father or a savior to come out and save you. Nobody's coming. You have to save yourself. We've been so damaged mentally that we always think that somebody from outside must come and save us. No. Where has our dignity gone to? East Timor, we Africans have been so damaged. East Timor is smaller than us. They have very limited resources. But they did it. Eritrea is not up to a quarter as rich as Amazonia. It's the will. Amazonians, we need the will. We need to come to that point of having that willpower that we can do it by ourselves. And then we'll go ahead and do it. Think about that. I leave you this task. Stand up. Fold your sleeves. Do the hard job. Go to www.changshuboys.org and do your own job there. Those of us across the globe. Fellow Amazonians, it's a clear reminder. We are not fighting like Cameroon alone. We are fighting Semak and France. Stand up. We can win. We can do this. East Timor did that. Eritrea did it. So we are going to do it. We have all the resources. No need looking from outside. We have everything that can take us and grant us our independence. Thank you. I will leave you with those words. The Commander-in-Chief of the H.E stated, unless we exert power and claim what we deserve, we are not asking the world, begging the world. Unless we do that, they will never call us on the negotiating table. We don't have to beg people to come to the table. They will call us. Put in your mindset that they are going to call us to come and sit. Because we'll fight for what we truly own. We need just the willpower to take us there. Thank you, fellow Amazonians. Thank you very much. Thank you to the boys on the ground who have put their lives to fight for them, fight for us. Let's go and support them. Let's keep the focus. The focus is Boya. Boya is our focus. The focus was never to free people, but to liberate our territory, liberate ourselves from tyranny, and give our future generation a free nation. Stop our children from being used as sex slaves in the Middle East. Stop our children from being sold as slaves in Libya. Stop our children from running into the high sea and dying in the high seas. Stop our children from coming and living in the West and being treated like beggars. Let's do that and have some dignity and have some patriotism in us. That nation has come to stay. It's ours to define. It's ours to own. Thank you, fellow Amazonians. Let's keep doing what we do with pride and dignity without any fear. Because we are fighting for what we own. We are not begging. It's our territory. It's our heritage. It's our land. Thank you. Have a good day. Fellow Amazonians, good morning. Amazonia must be liberated. Fellow Amazonians, good afternoon. Amazonia must be liberated. Fellow Amazonians, good evening. Amazonia must be liberated by any means necessary. Funding Changshu Boys. Go to www.changshuboys.org and show your defiance. Give those boys food, medication, shelter, clothing, and the material that they need. And they will do the job for us. Thank you.